Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it takes the dust. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the lion's voice.
And so I was in a thunderstorm home delivery. It was late at night, so they weren't sure which day it was. And it was a turbulent delivery, so much so that my mom had to remove her womb after my birth. We reflected on those experiences, and it turned out that I wrote a poem entitled The Traveling Son. And Mrs. Alga McDonald read it to the class and said, this is a very good poem. You must continue writing. And so I was a beneficiary of positive reinforcement. Yes. And so I had this decision when I embraced poetry to be a conveyor, a purveyor of positive reinforcement and positive affirmation in the beneficiary in that respect. After states, we went to Jamaica Telephone Company. We were published in the Jamaica Lines magazine and in the daily newspaper, and so on and so forth. And that gave you a kind of intrinsic vibration. But when I was going to states, I took the option of sociology. And sociology teaches that the basic unit of any human existence is individual. The basic social unit is the family, and the family essentially comprises of father, mother, and children. Just like when we do in chemistry, I equated that to the atomic structure, or in astrology, to the sun, moon, and stars at a situation. And so it starts to frame a certain worldview within that context. So when we start read for His Imperial Majesty, read the speeches and anything we get by His Majesty, looking at the Bible, if excuse to validate with proclamation and with inspiration.
I was called.
It's a calling, naturally. Yes. Then what happened now is that we soon tell how the lax thing coming now, but just a little bit before that. So what happened now, can be fascinated by this thing from then up to the So now showing the significance. So what happened now is that we found that photograph and we started medicine deep and read. Then we found out Psalm 101, and that psalm was used in the coronation. And so forth. And so
sing of mercy and judgment.
Yeah, and the symbols of the coronation, the civil, the orb, the sword, and the the whole thing. So what happened now is that we go fast forward, now stick up in and fast forward and come forward to that. All right. Remember, we talk about sociology.
Yes.
And so the basic unit of every human community. We're talking about humanity now. We could extend it to other communities, but let's just focus on human community.
Yes.
The basic unit of any human community is the individual.
Yes.
The basic social unit is the family. We don't use a nuclear family as an example, father, mother, mother, children. You could look at the atom if you care to, and you could look at the relationship, land, sea, and air, but we just focus on the family. So by extrapolation, then humanity itself, because everything which is singular is plural, so humanity itself must subscribe to the very basic definition of what a family is.
Yes.
So, in a very basic way, we see Haile Selassie the first as the father for the family of humanity.
Okay.
We see Empress Menen as the mother for the family of humanity.
Okay.
We see Haile Selassie as the proton, Empress Menen as the neutrons, we as the electrons. We see Haile Selassie as the sun. We see Empress Menen as the moon. We see us as the stars. We see good in mind and spirit, so we see His Majesty as a personification of the spirit, because everything which is singular is plural, everything which is plural is singular. The macrocosm has a direct relationship with the microcosm.
Okay.
And so the thing went so below, so above, so above, so below, so within, so without. So we see His Majesty as a power of authority. We see His Majesty as a personification of the Almighty in flesh. As it relates to Christianity, if you get anxious as Christians, we see a direct relationship between Christ of the Bible and His Imperial Majesty. Because even in the scriptures, the Bible, when Christ was asked, and he had a conversation with his disciples, and he said, the Father and the Son are one. If you notice, His Majesty always holding what we call the Trinity. So above, so below.
Above, so below, yes. Balance.
Yeah, and it's a superimposition of the two equilateral triangles, one representing material, one representing the spiritual. And when they are harmonized, then you bring the heaven to earth and the earth to heaven. You harmonize and marry the divine with the human.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you come forward as you do radical. Because when we have got cast, them used to say me was a radical. And me always I said, no, we're not a radical. A revolutionary. You know what I mean? I to know people say, why you radical? Some people still say radical. I say, no, I'm not radical, I'm revolutionary. But no understand. They use the word radical interchangeably still, so it's okay. What happens is that them kind of know, maybe that's why them say radical still, because them time they know we are born her unapologetically.
Okay.
Me had a private ganja farm on campus where everybody know, and the top of Farkis and all, where everybody say, I know, nobody can touch it. That kind of thing there. You know them way they, and but then we were some people well attired, where the girls them get along good too. We go at the Christian fellowship where them have a reason with them, invite the girls to my room. Incidentally, a girl, I won't call her name, but she have a reason a few years ago with Ocherios, and she said she have a confession to make. Yeah. So she came up to my dorm one time to come reason. When she tell the friends them in the UCF, the Christian fellowship, that them are go at the house of dread, them say, you mad? And so she come at the house of dread. And I think she complained about her foot. We tell her to put up her foot on a chair and massage her foot fair and feed her. And they send her a happy way. We never have to touch her up. We never have to kiss her. We never ask her up. We never lyrics her up. More than treat her good. And she tell me, say, all I like that never come out her head. So much so that she looked like she didn't want to fulfill that which was unfulfilled then. So, I have a sister named Mrs. Sona Johnson. And she used to teach us Ferguson all age. And one of her students was a youth named Barrett, who became known as Tonerable.
Okay.
And Tonerable now, we woke up a Mandeville Plaza one day, and I introduced to a youth named Little Bimbo.
Okay.
And them start asking me about Ras Tafari. And Garnet has kind of had a Silk rebel himself, but more so Garnet. A certain fascination, intrigue, and inquisitiveness. And Rupert said he's a youth who can reason and know about His Majesty and these type of things. So they start interrogate me. And
what was the I status at that time? What was the I doing at that time? And what year are we talking about?
Right. So this was very, very late 80s.
Okay.
So then by the time I manifest my locks and me do craft and I do the poetry money slow, so me I feel me do a skill set transfer and start creating things, products, calabash bag, belts, handbag, attache case, and the whole works.
Okay.
So I record. At the time I think I was recording for Heineken Mose.
Okay.
No, so that was the beginning of a kind of brotherly friendship, which we later recognized ourselves as being a triplet. Yes. And so the relationship continued until one day, Silk came to visit me at Hanbury Road. That time he would sit down on the table and do some leather craft. He said, Yasus, why my woman pregnant again? You know, me I call name. The name was Lovely pregnant again.
Yes.
He said, that's good man, congrats. That time I first be seen with him here wash on a woman.
Okay.
Right? So he said, My brother, no food in the house, you know. No
Hard.
money in the house either. I said that is bad. If you hear that, him say, Yasus, I love you go down beside the bed and with me and pray to God. And God answer a prayer. I said, if you check the youth and him, Yasus Afari, and I keep a link with him and everything we work out.
Hard.
So when him said that to me now, we put down my tool and we look him straight in the eye. He look like him knows me I scan him too. So him just hold this thing like when they the immigration. And him hold the steer and scan him. And we sufficiently empowered. I said, still in my youth. He's a man of joy, you know. So if just in the eye is an honor, there is welcome. Garnet Silk, Yasus. You can't left the studio today, I mean, do a song together, you know. You know, long one, me in the studio together. Look here. We have to do a song together. But me are still greatest supporter. Silk one of my greatest supporter. So if Silk want a combination, it's a no-brainer. So I say, let me hear what you have. And him do the Johnny Nash cover. But I say, hold on. Because I want to listen good way, I say. So I say, hold on there. Barry, when you pull up the song and start playing it again. And then him say, Yasus. And me say, what's your trouble? So wash them all away. Come back to work, we find a new way. And the studio mash up. Jixie King, Tony Curtis, Professor Frisky, President Brown, Brushy One String, Nicky Simpson. I remember why you name to get him name, but it is a special youth today. Anyway, so them said, go on round before you forget it. And we go around and I think it was almost a one thing. I was the same day, he did nothing can divide us and I had to take me teaching. And so I took a bus from Papi to Spanish Town. I went from Spanish Town to Mandeville. So when I reached in Mandeville Park in front of the market, I remember who said to me, boy, I'm here and a white girl do a song, it wicked. I said, but you know, I'm mixing up with motor, man. And a white girl do a song. And when I go on the taxi stand, somebody said to me, boy, yeah, somebody do a song, they were so good, man. I said, no, sir. I'm not me, I don't know song. When me buck up a youth, there's Stuart there who play drums. He said, why? Me, with a combination, the man is so good. He said, no, sir. When we go home now, my youth mother said to me, you know, while the song we didn't say, stop playing on the radio, it's so good. Me say, you keep up the same thing too. Yes, me say, do a song a while ago, and me come straight home. So, I don't know where. But he said, well, I hit. I said, no, wait there. He said, I can't see clearly. I say, I lie. And I take up the phone. And I call the phone. And by the time I call him, I peel off in him in the background. I said, Virgin, wow. Come here, say, me have a song with white woman, with girl, with Garnet Silk. And it mash up the place that they might laugh and say, yo, brother, this song is a hit. From your left. We leave the studio, go down at the dub studio, cut the dub, carry back and give you moja benaya. And the man never take it, run relay. Every this jacket come, he put it up at 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And Silk up in the window and say, Yasus, don't let me get and don't come check me, you know. Say everything good, man. The man move. He say, Yasus, when I deal with the right, you know, but my father come check. Say everything good, man. Meet me the pan move. Him say, Yasus, enough time I pass your apartment and check you, I'm going to stop and check you, but don't follow me. Come check. He say, everything good, man. They're going to make a move now. One at a time, man. Him say, Yasus, enough time if you take up the phone and call you, sometimes I take up the phone and put it back on and call you, know. But don't follow me. Don't let me get and don't come check me.
Okay.
You know something in tone and texture and passion and sincerity.
Yes.
When we never want to hurt him vibration.
Yes.
So I say to the string, this won't come.
Yes.
I'm turning the engine. And by the time he get through the gate, the man run out of the gate and give me a half nail. I say, him coming along, me see me. And we go in at the house. And I call names again so people can fact check.
Yes.
Richard Parchment, who at the time operating super saint when Pablo was in prison.
Okay.
Jesus of Stone Love.
Okay.
Dawe Congo.
Okay.
Jamaica was now known as Dawa amongst Sizzler Judgment Yard.
Yes.
Michael, Keris, David, Omar, Leach, and a few others. I remember everybody here.
Yes.
And Garnet Silk said to me, Isos, how you check that? Suppose someone come and kill me right now. What do you think would happen to me? And by the time if you answer him say, shh, me soon come. And he run upstairs and come back with a video camera. And he put the video camera and say, answer me now, Isis. Mr. Garnet Silk, me not check that, and me can't dead. And Garnet Silk, if a man come and burn it to ashes right now and blow the ashes to the four corners of the earth, don't surrender to it. You never do an examine when the invitation is a pencil. And then the invitation is a pencil. Only thing in this examination of life, you cannot be dishonest. Where people call death is summer holiday when your exam paper come back. September, you know which class you're going. Some man get repeat, some man skip class, some progress to the next class, some get kicked out of school. But to any stage and phase you put you to, don't you ever surrender to them. 10 days time, Garnet Silk tried out. Me decided to always give some more strength to poetry, my own art form itself.
Yes.
And so we started Poetry in Motion 8 years after returning from Ethiopia in 1996. Okay. And so that was 2004 was a leap day, and the day of Johannes, in the year of Johannes,
okay,
started. That was the day we arrived in Ethiopia.
Okay.
And years after that, we started Poetry in Motion, now going 23 years.
Wow.
And so we wanted to tour Poetry in Motion, but the people in Mandeville said they know we happen to Rebel Salute, where we take it from Mandeville, happen to Poetry in Motion, so we don't care going away. And we listened to the people. So we developed Jamaica Poetry Festival in 2011. So on the 10th of August, at the University of Technology, we'll be doing the 15th anniversary of Jamaica Poetry Festival, featuring Mutavaruka, Professor Mervyn Morris, my daughter me, myself, Tony Gregory, okay, Colin Douglas, Akin Sanya, Hugo Barrington, okay, Colin Douglas,
Colin Douglas get called twice. My sister Colin get called twice.
Good, because we can't afford to leave her out. And so Calvin Mitchell, Al Salva, and Dennis M. Williams. Okay. And we have a workshop free to the public from 10 until 2. Nice. Well, the honor is mutual, and we give thanks. We are in an important moment at the crossroads of time, the intersectionality, the alignment, divine ordinance. We have to make wise and sound choices to ensure and preserve the ancient immortal future. Because we are people of the ancient future. We are journeying into kinetic inertia. So we have to choose carefully, assert our sovereignty individually and collectively, and restore Mama Africa to our throne of honor and glory. So in that saying, let us keep focus on the effort and cost, and let us work on our purpose with passion and fixity of purpose, being eternally confident in the victory of good over evil. And in so doing, and in that direction, Rastafari bless it and set it continually.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.
Alright, so continuing on with family, we're going to talk about the drums right now. The bass drum is the foundation. It gives off that frequency. It encompasses crosses and surrounds and keeps the idea within a one place. It's always on the one. One soul, one youth. Alright? Very important.
The more aware you are of yourself, the more you come to know yourself, the more mindful you are, okay, is the more skilled you become at using this powerful engine, which is your mind.
And then the resolution is like just finishing up the lessons now and just saying yes and reminding people of the theme of your story. So, you know, the theme of this story was the importance of agriculture.
For the motherland, cradle of civilization, for the ancestors and their indomitable spirit, for the elders whom we can learn much, for the youth who represent our promise for tomorrow, for the people, the original people, for the struggle and remembrance of those who struggled on our behalf, for Umoja, the principle of unity that guides us in all we do, for the Creator who created all the things great and small. We give thanks.
Let's go through the principles. The first one, blessed love and greetings. Welcome to day 5, our last day of camp. That's sad, right? Too short. Just when I started to have fun, it's over. But it's been fun, and we'll do this again next year, most definitely. Looking forward to seeing you all again, and stay connected after camp.
Government is trapping the system.
Jano, I'm so hungry, bro. I haven't eaten all day. Like, my head started to hurt me too. Like, what more could I eat right now?
What about a city samosa? Get your samosa, a fusion of Indian, Jamaican, and African culture. City samosas, the best samosas in the city.
Ras Tafari!
Them could never conquer the mountains. Thousands of years and counting. Ethiopia rise again unto the world. Now we are announcing. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Ras Tafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Well, solar energy that them a see. The whole city powered by the sun's energy. The road them make out of hemp and concrete. Neighborhoods full of fruit trees that taste sweet. The youths put down them guns, them harvest and a reap. The beautiful gardens will line every street. Tired of the bloodshed, them done with the beef. Not even animals for dead, them burn out the meat. Where people say Haile Selassie, I see Nile. When they see say him a treat the dirt like a child. Peace on earth from the banks of the Nile. That's why we giving thanks in style. style. See say Babylon a weapon, them a stockpile. Babylon a wicked, kill them brother and smile. I lion, Babylon a reptile. Them a plant for shed blood, we got plans for the soil. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Ras Tafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. No more gullies, proper sanitation. Proper toilets with proper filtration. Clean water for the youths them fi use. Our sons and daughters safe, no more child abuse. Africa arise, read it in the news. On the day when Rastafari ready, wicked have fi move. 3D printing alongside hem shoes. Herb get legalized, hard drugs them get refused. Well, people used to say they bingy man senile. True himself he tried it with man, woman and child. Himself peace on earth from.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. Elected himself, first rightful ruler. Hey yo, yeah. Hail them high, hail the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in a Toronto, straight at Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziro Menen. My name is Kwasi Bonsu, aka DejazmatchKwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm a creative industry attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk. Welcome to Lion Talk and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Today we have a massive episode. Major guest today. We are honored to have one of our greatest dub poets, business people, intellectual minds on the platform today. I want to tell all of the global Lion Pride family, you know you have to get your ital snacks, get your meditation right. We're going way up, high level, high frequency, Rastafari, Pan-African reasoning. This is why we have created the platform, and this is why we continue to work to make this platform a point of gladness for the global family. Before we bring forward our guests, let me just big up the Lion Pride. If you subscribe, you are part of the Lion Pride. Big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. Big up the Ubuntu Lion Pride. Big up the Action Lion Pride. Big up the Watch and Peep Lion Pride. Same way too. All of the parts of our ecosystem that make this the fastest growing Rastafari platform on the planet. I have to thank the item, because without the item, we couldn't do what we are doing. Big up Ramir King Design.
Raslage, if I'm drinking water during the episode, I'm supporting a Rastafari business. Big up Frontline Books and Publishing, big up Raseku, our sponsor, big up Brother Carl, Phil Potts, big up CMAS Life, all of our sponsors, Rastafari, Pan-African businesses. We are creating the ecosystem right here. Rastafari Independent Non-Aligned Media is rising. So family, again, we're not going to take too long with the housekeeping today, because we have to get right into our guests. Powerful. I know you may have guessed already that our guest is the great Yasus Afari. Blessings, family.
Yes, I welcome, greetings, give thanks, extended intro. And especially on the Rastafari platform, giving eyes to the Most High, especially now we are in the closing days of July and in the 133rd year of the appearance of His Imperial Majesty on the planet Earth in this hour. And so it's always an honor as disciples and children and warriors and diplomats and emissaries of the Most High, Father and Mother of Iration, King and Queen, Emperor, Empress, the yin, the yang, the perfect harmony and balance is indeed our honor and our privilege and our duty and our responsibility to be treading in the name of the King and to gather and to share thoughts and to share breath and to focus on what we have to do and on the tradition. So it's always an honor. Give thanks for the welcome.
Give thanks. We have a tradition here on Lion Talk with our guests. We're going to ask the eye to step into our Lion Talk time machine and to take us to the parish of St. Elizabeth. Take us to your birth. Tell us the story of the manifestation of the eye and the eye journey to the knowledge of Rastafari.
Well, first and foremost, when I was born, the total of my mother and father age put together was in excess of 100 years. So we look at that as several roots run deep within that context.
Okay.
My father was born in 1897, so it gives you an idea. My mother was born in 1923. And so I was in a thunderstorm home delivery. It was late at night, so they weren't sure which day it was. And it was a turbulent delivery, so much so that my mom had to remove her womb after my birth. And so when they were registering this, they weren't sure of the date. My grandfather intervened and said, all right, don't do long argument now, just give him the new day. So it was a Sunday night, so they said it is Monday the 4th of September of that year. And so we said that because we think we have drawn inspiration and insights from that psychology and the synchronicities and the alignment. And so my mom had wanted to give the brother who came before me the name that she actually gave me, and my father objected to it. I guess because my father was comparatively much younger and he was up in years, she had to take my dog. She felt like she was compared. So she gave me the name, John, and my father disowned me on account of that. So that was an interesting thing as well. And so we grew up with them kind of awareness, the rural thing, walk 6 miles, we catch bus to go school, go a woodland, go look firewood, fire, go parish tank and catch water and tie out wood, rabbit meat, and all that.
What years are we talking about? What year was the I born and what time period are we talking about?
1961, so say September 4, 1961. And so, interestingly, when the Rastafari delegation visited His Imperial Majesty in Ethiopia in 1961, my mother was 5 months pregnant with I.
Okay.
And when His Majesty came to Jamaica in 1966, 21st of April, 5 years to the day and date of the extended invitation, I was 5 years. There was some significance on that day, so much so that my parents don't want to talk about it. However, when I visited Ethiopia in 1996, I slept in His Majesty's bedroom, in his bed,
Wow.
in Wandoginet, and that was in itself an experience again. But then I found out later that I slept on a mattress that Sealy Mattress Company gave His Imperial Majesty in 1966. So we found significance in that. So when we were growing up in the rural area, obviously, not obviously, but like most of us, we grew up in the Christian tradition.
Yes.
And it was during that tradition, no one reading the Bible and history book and citing Rastafari, listening to the music. It germinated the genetic seed vibration of Rastafari, and we recognize our role being the child of His Imperial Majesty. Incidentally, when I was being born, it was a turbulent delivery, as I alluded to earlier.
Okay.
And so my mother, listen carefully, my mother silently prayed to God to take me back.
Oh.
And she told me about this. So when I cite Rastafari now, that was in the early to mid 80s. And, obviously she wasn't very happy about that. And so I said, but Mom, why you ask God to take me back? And God take me back and give me as a gift to the people. So why you argue? And that was a really fun, She said, how you mean say God take me back? I said, they didn't ask God to take me back. You maybe did a look panic the take back in a different way, but it's not necessarily that way manifested. So you return me to the source, and the source reassigned me. So I'm at the and that was a turning point. So, that was kind of
what was your first memory in St. Elizabeth of seeing a Rastafari brethren or sister?
Yeah, good question. I think it was called Papa Clacking.
Okay.
They can't manage that Rasta name, but Papa Clacking was one of the names.
Yes.
And he's up in the woods and farm and always have a mouthful of hopeful vibe and serious vibration. So that was my first encounter with the one who manifested Rastafari. And there was a long period of time between then and this was possibly very late 60s, very early 70s. And so there was a proliferation of Rastafari in maybe the very late 70s to very early 80s in our community.
Okay. So in rural St. Elizabeth, because I want to paint a picture, we have a significant young audience, and I always tell my guests, particularly those who were born pre-independence in Jamaica, that world no longer exists. The world that of your child. Well, I was corrected. Let me be clear, because people said it's certain part of country, them life that still exists. But paint a picture of a day. Your chores. What kind of levity for the young people of today. My mother is from Trelawney, for example, Albertown, Trelawney, and she tell me that when she was a little girl, even though they had shoes, them used to take off them shoes when they got out of sight from their parents and go barefoot, because most of the youths them at the school never have no shoes and they didn't want to stand out, So, today people can't imagine people go, youths going to school barefoot, them kind of thing. What was it like for the eye? Was it like that or was it different? What was the rural life in Jamaica like in the 60s, coming up into the 70s?
Right. So like in the 60s now, it was like a typical African village with several houses. So you have a main house with that thing with them called drop on.
Yes.
So these houses are made out of daub and wattle. So actually they plant the sticks horizontally and use the mud, and they use white lime and paste over the stone and the mud and the wattle. So that's why they call it wattle and daub. And then they would get the palm branches and cut the stalk and press it and dry it and use it to roof the building.
Okay.
And so the first house was one room, and then they had a little small part, which they call the drop on, as the word suggests. And afterthought, it was added onto the main house afterward. smaller and would have met the needs of the expanding, growing family. And so when one of the elders, in the case of me now, that was my mother, and she was very progressive, comparatively speaking. So she built another house now in the same yard, same double office set of one room.
Yes.
And so the kitchen was in the yard, the
Yes.
butchery was in the yard, and when the family expanded now, the grandfather would come out of the family home and sleep in the butchery where they tie up the tobacco and the produce from the farm. So it is a
Okay.
kind of semi-storeroom, semi-living quarter, sleeping quarters.
Okay.
So in the kitchen, you would have the kitchen bitch, and you would have buckle torch. In the house, you would have home sweet home lamp with kerosene oil and the lampshade. No electricity, no running water. People didn't cook in the house, in the kitchen. So we'd have a tank, make out of the same situation with the house make out of. And then you'd have a barbecue that allow the water to run into the harvested water to run into the tank, the tank.
Okay.
So that was pretty much the setup. So you have a few hog type pantry, you have some fowl around in the yard, you have 1 or 2 goats.
Yes.
Morning time you will get up and obviously when you close the iron, you put the iron on the fire and then you rub it off and banana trash. And then you iron your clothes with starch, stiff like a what? And morning time you get up, go tie up goat, look hog feed, rabbit feed, and then anything to do in the farm or run the errand, and then you come back, wash up. No bath, in a bath pan, and you brush your hair or over here and eat a little breakfast. Maybe a piece of bread with butter on it or fried stuff or a can saltfish or the saltfish with tomato or whatever they had at the time based on what the farm would have produced and what they would have bought. And so in time you repeat some what you did in the morning in the reverse. So you look after hog and you take up back the goat them and you throw some feed, some corn or crack corn with the fowl and you go look some firewood run it the errand and so you buckle down before night come because we don't have electricity and
Yes.
water even a bright enough because night time when you run a little errand around the yard sometimes we look for the pussy. You put a bunch of penny wall in a glass bottle and you use that as a convenient.
Patient order.
Yeah, and patient order. And so you go look for your water, you carry water in some big bucket.
Yes.
And you come back.
Hold on. Stick a pin for the international audience. The peony wally is a firefly, the little insect. So when we say Asian, they're using nature to illuminate, in a bottle, catching these insects and using that as the light. I just want the international, because we're, international. So we just want them know when you say peony wally, what you're referring to. But continue.
Distinction. Sorry to cut you. So 2 insects would bear natural light, but they are distinctly 2. What we call it blinking. And there's another one called stranger. The stranger thing, the word pinwall is firefly is loosely used to describe either a or both. But the one that we call the blinky is the one that it light goes off and on and it has a sound, a blinking sound.
Okay.
Like cricket neck, like it neck is semi-detached from the body, so sometimes it makes that like a sound. And that light two headlamp in the head. The one that we call stranger has a very funny odor and it carries light in the abdomen.
Okay.
Whatever. For the sake of the conversation, Lucy
this is
speaking.
An intellectual. Hold on, the family. This is an intellectual. So anywhere we want take it, him can take it, Continue. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So at the detail we are going to want since we are paint a picture. You know what I say?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so, we talk about the water on your head and my family now, because I was born a bit asthmatic, we will lose that at about 12. So I was the only one who wore shoes to school. All of my siblings went to school where it was barefoot is the order of the day. So I stood out by virtue of the fact that I was barefooted. And so, but we were kind of dignified. You could almost call it proud. In St. Elizabeth, call it cockatoo. Some people say rank, some people say feisty. We did not allow you to downgrade us on account of our deficiency in material things. We were very sufficient in some of the social graces and our morality and our dignity and our
Yes.
integrity. Our mother would have taught us that speak the truth and speak it ever, cast it what it will. He who hide the wrong, he does the wrong thing still. So we will learn to be honest and to be truthful and top quality people. Don't want people and go punging. Don't just take anything from anybody. You're satisfied where you have. You're up
Yes.
high on your mouth and say you're very full, you know, what people you have when you have from anybody. So we grew
Yes.
up that kind of you live with what you have, you pass down, you book them with even the dark ears, the ears of the book kind of get folded, or you straighten it out and you pass on that. We pass on all even underwear, we pass on clothes, we pass on book, and the one that would have gone to college and start work, then you help the younger one. So it was a kind of takes a
Yes.
village
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
I am because we are so that I am, you know.
Isis. So in terms of your education, um, you're well educated. You know, me take a little peek on the bio. Um, how did that journey, you know, coming from rural St. Elizabeth, what was your thought on education and how did you pursue it? And then take us up to you accepting Rastafari and the divinity, because I want to have that reasoning there. I wrote a book about Rastafari, so there is a perfect one for you to get into some of the cosmology and theology. But what took you to that revelation, that light bulb moment, say, this is, give us your journey from St. Elizabeth to that moment?
Well, here what happened. I went to Rose Hall
Yes.
School. They used to call it Rose Hall Infant School at that time. A very simple little humble building, but the teachers were very committed and devoted. And then from that, you would have transitioned to Rose Hall All Age School as it was designated then.
Yes.
But we had some
Yes.
very good teachers. Up to this day, the students who would have passed through that school are decidedly different, comparatively
Yes.
speaking, in terms of
Okay.
the work ethics. And Jane said these were the hardworking people in terms of the moral persuasion, in terms of that certain level of self-respect and dignity and
Yes.
communal support and self-reliance as a science
Yes.
of survival.
Yes.
And so we grew up through that and benefited much from that. And so we spent 1 year. Well, when I was going to school, some very good teachers, some are still here with us. But one particular teacher, Trevor Monteith, we
Mm-hmm.
were in grade 5 at the time, and he would have encouraged us to write poems, to recite poems, and bring it back the next week. And I was one of the few, if not only, male students who would have remembered my poem even from the day it was assigned. Most
Okay.
people, then it's the flag students, more people would get flagging the next week when they come back to class and still don't know the poem. So I
Okay.
stood out for the fact that they would have known that I knew my own from last week, still
Yeah.
knowing no one I would escape the flagging. So that kind of developed a kind of special relationship with poetry then. So big
Yes.
up Trevor. Then there was Sunday school, and there was Hazelin Alexander,
Okay.
and we partake in recitals and skits and so on. That helped the stage performance and
Okay.
the recitation and the poetry as well. And so we did 1 year at Junction Junior Secondary School, as it was known then. And so I think I'll pass common entrance to go to St. Elizabeth Technical High School in
Mm-hmm.
1974. That was this last year that they did that, because it transitioned the following year, well, the same academic year. So we went
Yes.
to States in 1974, and in that very same academic year, it would have transitioned into Junction Secondary, so rather junior secondary, it went
Okay.
for Junction. And so we went to States as the last batch from that. And so we went to States in that year. And so I think what is it now? Junction Secondary, Junction
Yes.
Junior Secondary, 1974, passed to go to States, 1975. When I was
Okay.
going to States, Cecil Campbell,
Mm-hmm.
Heine Kamosi would have transitioned that very same year. So we never really, we just pass each other. He on his way out and my way in. But we
Okay.
became each other from the States community as well. And so States was another whole experience. Our principal was John Patidge, affectionately called Boggs, and he was somebody who was committed to entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Between him and my mother, who was a hickland farmer, I learned much from entrepreneur, business enterprise, entrepreneurship, financial management, managing your whole resources, make use of what you have, maybe little make a muck, one poke for the basket, and that's kind of values. And so at States, we really were beneficiaries from that experience, because our school, the Michael Manley government at the time, took back I think about 500,000 Jamaican dollars unexpended funds based on the budgetary allocation to the school. And so the school acquired 600 acre land, dig 2 wells, had a farm, had wells, perimeter fence, dormitory for the sports people, tuck shop, sick bay, guidance counseling department, construction department, A-level department as a technical high school. So that school was affluent and very progressive. We benefited from that as well. And so in mid-70s now, Mrs. Alga McDonald was my English teacher, and I was considered a comparatively very good English student. In the technical school setup, generally speaking, the males were not the most competent in English. I happen to be some exception. And so I stood out for that as well. And so we were asked to write a poem for, we did AB, our O-level was not Cambridge or London, it was AB, Associated Examination Board. And so for our it was more technically inclined. So we did the physics and the engineering and engineering science, and, you know, the kind of stuff. So we're asked to write a poem. And based on my childhood experiences, which I somehow articulated earlier, we reflected on, you know, getting up, warming sun. Grandparents used to say, "Why get up out of the bed and go warm sun?" And so at the time, we didn't know that they were essentially telling us to go and charge your solar battery. And so you would have done your truth and come forward. And so we reflected on that, and I had a fascination with the sun, maybe because we didn't have electricity or artificial light. So you look to the sun for that source of energy and light. And so when we come home from school for lunch now, we would have noticed the sun in the zenith, and then you would have noticed the sun slipping away behind the horizons. And then the moonlight and starlight and firefly, P-Wally, Blinky, whatever you want to call them, came over. We used to have a push all the night, so you know, say, well, man, worry. And so what happened is that we reflected on those experiences, and it turned out that I wrote a poem entitled The Traveling Sun. And Mrs. Alga McDonald read it to the class and said, "This is a very good poem. You must continue writing." And so I was a beneficiary of positive reinforcement. And so I had this decision when I embraced poetry to be a conveyor, a purveyor of positive reinforcement and positive affirmation, be the beneficiary in that respect. And so we continued. And then we were published in the school magazine. After States, we went to Jamaica Telephone Company. We were published in the Jamaica Lines magazine and in the daily newspaper, and so on and so forth. And that gave you a kind of intrinsic vibration. But when I was going to States, I took the option of sociology. And sociology teaches that the basic unit of any human existence is individual. The basic social unit is a family, and a family essentially comprises of father, mother, and children. Just like when we do in chemistry, I equated that to the atomic structure, or in astrology, to the sun, moon, and stars at a situation. And so it started to frame a certain worldview within that context. And so after States and then telephone company, when I was exposed to telephony and recognized that telephony came from the word telepathy, because essentially, in terms of etymology, telepathy is older than telephony. So we started to think along those lines. And we continued writing and performing, and then started burning herbs, so you know, that kind of put you on a certain like a tiptoe and a certain vibration. And then we get a vision resign and go study at C.A.S.T. And we did that. We did some course in telecommunication, but then we did industrial instrumentation at C.A.S.T. And so it was, you know, if I go too fast,
no, because we have whole heap to cover too, you know, because the knowledge is vast. I want to tap some of the resource today. So, family, make
So,
sure you have your items. I just
no,
want to know. Go ahead.
stick up with me. Have to say this now, because this is one of the things we start bringing into the metaphysical realm.
Yes.
So remember me get a vision, you know. Me a poor people pick me, you know.
Yes.
Poor people pick me. We were financially challenged, but we were wealthy. So
Yes.
when the
Yes.
poor pick me, that me I talk about. And so me having the kind of work my way to go college because the kind of want my mother stop hustling for the market business. And
Yes.
so it was a leap of faith, you would say, you know what I mean? I have a well-paid job, comfortable, but then you go by your inspiration.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the Almighty provide, as is the testimony of my life. So
Yes.
therefore, I got the very first Jamaica telephone company, cooperative credit union scholarship.
Okay. History.
So yeah, so right there, so we said the Almighty hour. Then listen this now carefully. The first classroom that I went to, for who familiar with C.A.S.T or UTech as it is now known,
Yes.
there was a classroom named Room 101. That was my first classroom at C.A.S.T. I had a transcendental experience in that classroom. I never quite know if I make a fit, but I like it in a memory.
Yes.
So, because when I got the vision said I must go to C.A.S.T and I will find a pathway to lead me through life.
Okay.
But they started to coach me to take over the union delegate role at the time because there were some situations which me use my negotiation skills and navigated. So the people then say, yo, are you for the union, brother? And
Yes.
things. So I thought no, that would have been the way. So once I went to C.A.S.T now, I started to check out the student union representation. And so I became the vice president. And the vice president was responsible, as it is today, for the social and cultural activities on campus.
Okay.
And so when I became the vice president, I had access to archival material and so on. And I found a photograph of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I,
Okay.
standing at the doorway of Room 101 and saluting. No, that was an important moment for us still.
Yes.
Because we know the experience that we had in that room.
Yes.
We were not quite sure of the scriptures related to 101 or the philosophical, numerological significance of 101. However, we realized that this is the first for us when we have the experience there, you know, and we never fully acknowledge at the time the divinity and the authority and power of His Imperial Majesty being the Almighty God in flesh, the personality and representation. So what we do, we say, oh no, it's not normal. Anyhow, so we start the journey. So when we start read about His Imperial Majesty, you know, read the speeches and anything when we get by His Majesty, looking at the Bible, if excuse we validate with proclamation and with inspiration and Imperial Majesty.
Yeah, I was called.
It's a calling, naturally.
Yes.
Then what happened now is that we soon tell you how the locks thing coming now, but just a little bit before that. So what happened now, can be fascinated by this thing from then up to the moment. So now showing the significance. So what happened now is that we found that photograph and we started medicine deep and read. Then we found out Psalm 101, and that Psalm was used in the coronation.
Yeah, man. Powerful.
And so forth. And so
sing of mercy and judgment.
Yeah, and the symbols of the coronation, the seven, the orb and the sword and the, you know, the whole thing. So what happened now is that we go fast forward, we'll stick up in and fast forward and come forward to that.
All right.
So
any way you want to deal with it.
About a decade ago, I met the now president for University of Technology in Nottingham.
Okay.
And we developed a relationship. And so in 2020, 3, he reached out to me and said, what will it take to bring Jamaica Poetry Festival home? So he was saying home because he knew that I started out at C.A.S.T. So I'm telling him what it would have taken, cut the argument short, and they put it in. And that was in 2023. Now in 2023, I get an inspiration to have a 5-day celebration for my mother.
Okay.
No, on the 28th of September, 7 days before my mother centenary, we saw the harvest moon in the skies. I remember during Prof.
Okay.
And
Big up profile too. Yeah.
No, Prof from Me Hungry. Underneath Battlespeed.
Okay,
not
okay, not a prof. Okay, not a prof. Big up prof from
not profile, you know, there's Prof.
Yes.
And so what happened is that we saw that has been very significant. And that was the centenary of my mother.
Okay.
All right. Now, so 2024 now, we brought Jamaica Poetry Festival to the University of Technology.
Okay.
In the 101 year of my mother's birth.
Hard.
40 years and a few months to the day when I did my very first poetry performance and poetry production at C.A.S.T.
Okay.
What did you say, Malcolm?
Yes, it's a divine.
Yeah.
And I noticed because I also found Ras Tafari while I was attending Howard University, and I know so many brethren and sisters from universities that have been called to duty, you know what I mean, from the Minister of Education. So it's a great testimony that the I is giving, you know, to I personally. And I know a lot of ones in a them ballad stage I watch this around the world and going through the same revelation. So it's really a powerful manifestation. Now, talk to I know how do I see the divinity of Kadamawi Haile Selassie the first within the I concept, because every rat I ask this question will give a different answer. We acknowledge that on this platform, but I think there's value in hearing from how everyone connect with that aspect of I Majesty. How do I see I Majesty?
All right. Remember, we talk about sociology.
Yes.
And so the basic unit of every human community. We're talking about humanity now. We could extend it to other communities, but let's just focus on human community.
Yes.
The basic unit of any human community is the individual.
Yes.
The basic social unit is the family. We don't use a nuclear family as an example. Father, mother, mother, children. You could look at the atom if you care to, and you could look at the national relationship, land, sea, and air. But we just focus on the family. So by extrapolation, then humanity itself, because everything which is singular is plural, so humanity itself must subscribe to the very basic definition of what a family is.
Yes.
So in a very basic way, we see Haile Selassie the first as the father for the family of humanity.
Okay.
We see Empress Menen as the mother for the family of humanity.
Okay.
We see Haile Selassie as the proton, Empress Menen as the neutrons, we as the electrons. We see Haile Selassie as the SUN. We see Empress Menen as the moon. We see us as the stars. We see Goody mind and spirit, so we see His Majesty as a personification of the spirit, because everything which is singular is plural, everything which is plural is singular. The macrocosm has a direct relationship with the microcosm.
Okay.
And so the thing went so below, so above, so above, so below, so within, so without. So we see His Majesty as a power of authority. We see His Majesty as a personification of the Almighty in flesh. As it relates to Christianity, if you who get anxious as Christians, we see a direct relationship between Christ of the Bible and His Imperial Majesty. Because even in the scriptures, the Bible, when Christ was asked, and he had a conversation with His disciples, and he said, the Father and the Son are one. So there's no division. And we
Yes.
see we don't role of His Majesty as a Christian emperor in a Christian country, Tawahumido, Orthodox Christian, Oriental Christian Church. And so we
Yes.
see no conflict really. And we could have go
Yes.
deeper into it if we want to, because you see,
This is the platform. This is the platform. Ayaso is the platform for that, because we like to go deep. Head of the church, head of the military, head of state. Continue.
yeah, so we are saying the relationship between the father and the son,
Yes.
and the relationship between the mother and the daughter, the relationship between parents and the children, the
Yes.
relationship between the ancestors and the ascendants.
Yes.
It's a very crucial relationship. This
Yes.
relationship underpins and encapsulates our divine, immortal potential as children who are born of the omnipotent, the omniscient, and the omnipresent.
Haile.
Because nothing is really nothing. The unqualified state of everything, and every single thing is a qualification of nothing. Because in order to be not to be everything, you have to be nothing. Because if you're everything and you're not nothing, you will still not be everything. So anything, everything, one thing, two thing, three thing is still simply a qualification of nothing. And nothing is everything in its unqualified state. And every single thing is a qualification of nothing. So you could equate what people call the Almighty God as not nothing, the womb of everything. And then the first manifestation and personification of that nothingness would be the face and personification of the Almighty in that manifestation or that dimension. So in a similar way, we see the Father and Mother in that regard. Remember, saying energy cannot be created and cannot be destroyed, but can be transformed from one state of existence to the next. We know word sound, and we know the word come from the thought.
Yes.
And so it's within those levels I personally countenance and process the divinity of His Imperial Majesty, because if you notice, His Majesty always holding what we call the Trinity. So above, so below.
Above, so below, yes.
Yeah,
Balance.
and it's a superimposition of the two equilateral triangles, one representing material, one representing the spiritual. And when they are harmonized, then you bring the heaven to earth and the earth to heaven. You harmonize and marry the divine with the human, the intangible with the tangible, the immortal with the temporal. You know what I mean? And so within that now you can say the God-man concept within I and I Liberty.
Nile Valley civilization concept.
Yeah?
It's a Nile Valley civilization concept. The God King.
Exactly.
Yes, from them time to this time.
Yes. And so, in that sense, now, you know what? So the more we mature and evolve and grow and unfold, we try to be obedient to His Majesty's teachings, and we know so the community belongs to us all, and the faith kind of personal. So we're not about to chuck up not in a people's face or ram nothing up their throat. However, we still feel a duty to testify and to testify in reality, and we overstand spirituality. And spirituality is that network which connects us to each other, to the universe, and to our source. And so religion are really man-made institution to aid and abet the spiritual growth and development of I and I.
Yes, it's a scaffolding.
So spirituality is experiential.
Yes.
And so we are testifying as to the impact that His Imperial Majesty and Empress Menen had on us as a people who gave birth to humanity, and as a people who were gang raped and crucified on the international cross of slavery and colonialism, and buried into the circle of death and captivity, and who refused to die. And the womb came out of the tomb, in other words. The tomb conspired with us and became a womb and gave birth to the only holistic and authentic and indigenous response to the genocidal crucifixion of chattel slavery and colonialism. Therefore, I and I are the resurrection and the life, breathing new thoughts, new values, new perspective into the temple of the family of humanity. And so we now testify by experience of the spiritual, experiential relationship that we have with His and Her Imperial Majesty. Indeed, as was the case with my mother. Haile Selassie became the father of Muma Ninja, who infiltrated the ovum bank and the sperm bank and secured the sons and daughters of the ovary and the woman of the sperm bank. So we not really take no talk when it comes to certain things. We are live with life and we are testify and we have the right.
Yes,
Both
yes.
in terms of conscience and law and theology and religious schools of thought and social orientations and so on. And so this is our testimony, this is our experience, and you swear by what is binding on your conscience. So we have a legal moral obligation to testify and to live that which we experience.
It's crucial.
And
It's
so,
crucial. Yeah, man. There was a time, where this reasoning would happen, on a camp where chalice a pass around and one's a ice to give them testimony. But one of the reasons I ask these questions of I guess is because we realize that the young people are not experiencing the trad the same way. You don't have them kind of groundings as frequent. Some places it happens, but most places it doesn't. So ones would not get to hear such an in-depth perception in terms of divinity. They're searching, it surface, they like the reggae song, it feel nice when they listen to the reggae song. They keep seeing them flash up this Ethiopian man, and them I wonder why they're attracted, and they don't have the language or the word sound or the concept to quantify what they are going through. So we give thanks to hear, from an elder like the I, who can give words to how the I experience it and maybe connect with the next one. You know what I mean? Very powerful. So let's go forward to, the I having that revelation at UTech, His Imperial Majesty. You're there on campus and radiating this light because, ones are seeing that the I is competent, capable, and also executing certain judgment, student union, ting and guan. How did one start to receive this country youth from St. Elizabeth now that you start embrace this kind of radical ideology which was still marginalized by the majority of Jamaican society?
It's interesting that you come forward and use the word radical, because when we got cast, them used to say me was a radical. And me always I said, no, we're not a radical. A revolutionary. You know what I mean? People say, why you radical? Some people still say radical. I say, no, I'm not radical, I'm a revolutionary. But no understand, they use the word radical interchangeably still, so it's okay. What happens is that them kind of know, maybe that's why them say radical still, because them time they know we are born her unapologetically.
Okay.
I was almost, some people said to me I was a bit spoiled. I don't agree with them, but we understand why them said that, because things when we do and get to with it, nobody could even think of doing it. They wouldn't get to it either. So and it appeared that there's some truth to it, to be honest.
Yes.
And here are some examples. Me, we turn up a lecture with a spliff, a half a spliff behind my ears,
Yes.
And this, and them time they can't get stronger than now.
Yes.
So, a man, a couple feet from you, couple yards from you, people can't smell you coming.
Yes.
So when you walk in the classroom,
that blow the whole class.
Your eye red like a blood in the first case.
Yes.
And then you ganja smell paved the way for you. And the principal, them couldn't tell me if I move my. First of all, they asked me if I'm doing any scientific evaluation about what is behind my ears to make a determination. So if you continue the lecture in there, if you do.
Yes.
And them kind of way. And we don't be disrespectful, we do the work and we polite, try to be articulate, try to be well spoken. So it was seem as if we be rude, but we're assertive with manhood, because it's like, we are stepping into a manhood, so you can't come treat you like we're a picnic. Kind of situation. And so, so we used to have ganja in our dam in our locker, from Bon Chalice and the whole dam smell it. And they are focus and hard. They used to call our room House of Dread, so you must know.
Okay.
And so me had a private ganja farm on campus where everybody know, and the top of focus and all, where everybody say, I know nobody can touch it. Them kind of thing there. You know them way there. And but then we were some new to well attired. Where the girls them get along good too. We go at
Yeah.
the Christian fellowship where them have a reason with them, invite
Yes.
the girls to my room. Incidentally, a girl, I won't call her name, but me and she have a reason a few years ago with Ocherios, and she said she have a confession to make. So she
Yes.
came up to my dorm one time to come reason. When she tell the friends them in the UCF, the Christian fellowship, that them are go at the house of dread, them say, "You mad?" And so she come at the house of dread.
Yes.
And I took her. I think she complained about her foot. Me tell her to put up her foot on a chair and me massage her foot for her and
Yes.
feed her. And they send her a happy way. Me never have to touch her up. Me never have to kiss her. Me never ask her up. Me
Yes.
never lyrics her up. More than treat her good. And she tell me, say, all I like that never come out her head. So much so that she looked like she didn't want to fulfill that which was unfulfilled then. But we let's keep it. So that's for sure what I try to say to you, my family. I said that to say this because even though we had a radical persona, the house of dread persona, the ganja smelling persona, we are you to now run that rush to that flesh and violate her, and we
Yes.
treat her
Yes.
so that we
Yes.
was pleasantly disappointed and maybe slightly emotionally disappointed because it's like, attractive enough. Why this man not try
Yes.
nothing? I mean, you know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yes.
she
Yes.
takes decades and have a
Um,
certain regard I and I up to this day on account of that experience.
yes.
So she testify to fear her friend them now say Red, them can start look on with different. So both from the Christians and then now the ganja people them now see me as a champion. And then the girls, them mommy get on good, because no tree never quite growing our face, at least not back then. Maybe not even
Yes.
know what's out there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when we
Yes.
go to go, we treat with them polite like a queen, and we nice to them, and we jovial to them, and we do schoolwork and help them out, and positive to them. When I was a student, union representative, and me keep the first freshman fed to make profit.
Okay.
Because the man them come to me and say, Tony, them so call me Tony, give us. And we take out my billfold and buy them the first round of drink. And when them come for me, say, yo, brother, I'm a powder man, I'm a powder people, They spend my own money and buy. Brother, if you know your money come out of the line. I'm kind of face it, even to my brethren them way there. And we made $30,000 profit in
Wow.
1983, thereabout. Them
Okay.
time, 30,000 would have come in like, me no know, maybe $200,000 profit. And so that went round the campus like wildfire. And
Huh.
people we are but them come for come respect the thing and say, John, what them kind of difference still, You know what I mean? Them want to bring down the student union with feed them like a mentality and reassure them say, a different level we are buying great man. So that
Yes.
went around like a wildfire. And so people kind of respect the energy. And then when we do the fundraising department, the fundraiser for the commerce department, I performed on that stage, and as the mother said, mashed the place.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you get a feeling now whereby, boy, kind of hard to explain. You'd have to listen to the point when your poetry can now. Because you see, we start to look on this now as the reason when we come across for
Okay.
not Miss Lukman said, we have to find a way. Because when we do sociology, we know the intrinsic and the extrinsic value. No, we
Yeah.
attach a load, an intrinsic value to that thing. You feel good, you feel important, you feel valued, you feel like you're smart, you feel like you find
Yes.
a calling, a purpose.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
something else, it was euphoric. And so, interestingly, that same summer now, I was reflecting on my pathway, as I normally do, as we all do. And
Yes.
remember one time now in the 60s,
Yes.
I was by the park playing some games with my cousin.
Yes.
And a man named Rapid was passing with a little dog named Napoleon Bonaparte. And we were trying to sing. And Rapid said, if you want a special vice, you must drink Skelly and tea. We maybe tried one time, but not to follow up Rapid still. So this time I remembered that and started drinking Skelly and tea. Only to find out later on that Skelly and tea like cherry bark and nutmeg is good for your voice box.
Okay.
That same summer, I started chanting. I got the quickening of a chanter and of
Okay.
dub. And that again was a whole other experience. And so I got a vision. Coming so we Afro and back down the front and left the back profit. And the dream now we have a vision. One night the part the Afro. And when we look, we see some locks underneath the Afro. And why? It's hard to explain still, but the energy there,
yeah,
just fool me up. You know what I'm saying? And even a little before that now, me just stop eat meat when me I go steps, you know, but my mother tried to stop sending me go to school and we couldn't afford that for so we start eat for the meat. And then when we kind of almost at whole now as a man now. And so we said, so we used to eat selected parts of the flesh. Because when my mother used to send me go a butcher shop now, and me see all the beef, I jump on the table, and the barber have blood on his face, and on his apron, and on his water boot, and on his hand, and all over the place, and it fly there. And why that thing there, we can't explain it, traumatized me. But we never know, say, you can't do without eating meat. And when we see them put the fowl, tie the fowl upside down and cut off the head and put on the basket and leave flatter. So me no want no neck, me no want no fleshy fatty part, me no want no skin. So we eat the breast, we have that little wishbone there. So we send go buy chicken out of Papi in the day and shear up for all of the one them. Them order my chest plate to me and give me my box. And me did there eat. And the realization just come to me and say, blouse and skirt. And this really there, though. I just close my box and put it one side, and the man them say, Tony, what that? I blow. I said, no, man, eat up your chicken, man. Everything go. And when the man them done, the man take one side and say, yo, you can't tell me nothing, you know. Why I blow this way? Why? I said, no. He said, so what? I said, John, you know, say realization just come to me, say, any animal them now, mothers and children, just like we. So, what kind of thing that we are? Dead flesh. And when they go in the supermarket, that means that at the parlor, where they go to go the dead animal, them go home cook, you know. So it kind of revolting to my conscience and to me whole irids. And so me lock me did so before we start doing locks, you know. So when the locks come in now, the herb did they go a long time, the Afrocentric thing, teaching of His Majesty, the interpretation of the Bible and the scriptures and other sources and literature. It's a whole new paradigm, it's a whole new calling, it's a whole new perspective, it's a whole new vantage point, bro. And from there, so we start vibrate a different energy, a different frequency, different level of creativity, different, we have a presence, we have a vibe, we have a kind of intellectual, socially harmonious, radical, revolutionary stance.
Yes.
You understand what
Yes, man. I'm smiling because they are describing I and I university experience and so many other races, because you know, if I talk to I and I Belgian Dr. Knife over Taylor Hall, or him did have Taylor Hall, is the same kind of vibe where a man just make the campus him own, you know what I mean? And at Howard, we had a Rastafari student association, the Ethiopian Rastafari community student organization. We used to put on events. We have Bun Chalice on the campus, same way we have hold some big debates on the front yard, and everybody gather around in a girls' factory. And the same way we now deal with them. You know what I mean? We are deal with them upful. So I'm smiling, listening to the eye, because it sees an order that was established, you know, hierarchically. And
listen this now, sorry, listen, because we don't forget this. Dr. Alfred Sangster, you hear about him?
Sangster, I know the name Sangster.
He was the president. He was the president for C.A.S.T, and he did the transition to University of Technology.
Okay.
Listen, the people in music call me prophet too, because one morning now me wake up and tell them a dream. So he said, Dr. Sangster, come on the campus, come on the down, come check me. Before the sun set, we in the room, house of trade about some chalice. Come, on the door. Hold on. Dr. Sangster, come no down the door no lock. And Dr. Sangster bust the door and start carve and a fan pagan just now. I said, come in, come sit down. He said, no, Come see me at the office when they are through. He say, all right. And him close the door and gone. And the man say, told him, what you going to do? So what you going to do? You know, informer. Him never take no sample of the smoke. So him can't prove him come see me about now. Look how much people live on the dark. Him not see the chalice. Him not see no herb. Him see smoke. Him did take a sample of the smoke. Him know how smoke get in the room. The man was saying, I'm going to check him. He said, check, come down the time for waste, man. I don't want to see that. I'm not going, you know. And him not say nothing. So hear this now. Last year, when we bring forward the poetry to UTech,
yes,
we get an inspiration for honor Dr. Samson.
okay,
Because me and him became friends. He gave me a little commendation and he invited me to the family home to have dinner with the family and then wait.
Yeah,
he came
man.
to me and he write a line of notes on understanding Rastafari. So decided to honor him and his son Peter Samson. I call names so people can fact check me. Peter Samson said, what name if you tell him? I now remember I have a little sick problem. I said, listen to me. I won't take it personal. They tell him, say, Yasus Afari, right? Say, if you hear them up and take him, say, boy, I'm a dog teaching no boy. I say, you know, I lose nothing. And I won't be insulted if him don't remember. The man hang up the phone, and before he hang up the phone, we can call back and say, boy. By the time he say, Yasus, him say, Afari, I tell him to come look for me next week, Tuesday, 11 o'clock. When me go in at the man house, the man laugh like a punking idiot for me enter until me I leave.
Yes.
When I decided to honor him last year, the committee at CAS was saying, why you don't put it off until next year because we are already doing Champard? We said, no, we have been doing this event 13 years before we have this partnership. I don't need to be a collective decision. It's a unilateral decision. It's my call. I'm going to put it up. And then Dr. Sangster transition between last year and this year. So everyone look back differently. So in a sense, as a man who, here the other thing now, we and him did go at war. When the Queen was visiting the campus, API as it was called then, it was later named JIS, Jamaica Information Service, but it was API, Agency for Public Information. So they came on campus and interviewed me as a student representative about the Queen's visit. And I was saying that they don't have resources. Students were being raped and they don't have the resources to put down and repair the perimeter fence. But all of a sudden they find the money to facilitate a 1 hour visit. And some people might argue that when you have visitors, you should make special preparation. But we maintain that if you're always prepared, you don't have to make extraordinary expenses when you're having visitors. And what is more important, a 1 hour visitor are the students and the females who are being raped. And the program was called Point Counterpoint, and Dr. Sangster walked right into the truck. They interviewed me before him, and he said, when you're having visitors, you should make extra preparation. And so the man named said, slaughter Dr. Sangster. And that set up a kind of tension. And so in the dormitory, when he was saying he'll allow their students to come on campus, and I put up my hand here and the whole place out moment, not what is no. Mr. Dr. Sangster, respectfully, I object to that plan. He is muttering, and in silent in the room, I said, and why is that so Sinclair? He's an army man, ex-army man, so he's like power really and company. And why is that so Sinclair? And me say, well, Dr. Sangster, this is where we live. This is our home. We are paying for the facilities. Now we have a controversial visit. How can we stand responsibility for the day students in our home? I don't think this is a good idea. And the students, them, and it override the decision right then and there. And from that, the rest is history. So we kind of command a certain authority, a certain influence. Then one time I did a MC a reunion event with a Macu that I used to drink stout, a Macu one in one, a big head spliff in the other, and the mic. And the chairman of the school board, Jim Parks, was in the front row, and then we laugh. So it's like, that's why them say we kind of spoil car. Who can burn big head spliff in front of the chairman of the board?
Yes.
So, but what happened is that because I was such a kind of somehow agreeable student outside of
Yes,
those little
yes,
excesses,
yes. And you were you
I
were
think,
you were doing your work.
well, you could say that. Maybe not quite, but you could say that.
Okay.
Because you wouldn't look at that no, like say you come to school for that, they have about ganja, which was illegal and frowned upon, and grow
Yes,
lax and Selassie and Africa, and so on and so forth. But nevertheless, when we go to talk to principal, we were polite, respectful with these
yes,
Christian people, them, the girls, them, the brethren, them, the youth, them from Papi Street. We facilitate them. They used to run them like, go, shh, move off of the. I would say no, and they used to call me at the time. They used to call me. We used to play basketball, cornbread. They would say, no, I can't do them. See, even up to now, we and them youth, they are friends. You know, they respect me from that time. So,
man, give
so
thanks.
influence came about because of our stance and, what we do, the relationship we have with the administration, with the student body, and so on and so forth. So, we couldn't do no wrong. We set the program and we created a strong influence and a strong representation for Rastafari and a strong consciousness and Afrocentric perspective and so on and so forth.
Give thanks, give thanks. Now, guy is credited with the rise of one of our greatest singers, you know what I mean? As part of your portfolio. Some call him the Archangel, some call him, many names, but someone that was very impactful. I'm talking about the late Garnet Silk. How did I make that acquaintance, and what was that relationship like in terms of the uprising?
So, I have a sister named Mrs. Sona Johnson, and she used to teach us Ferguson all age. And one of her students was a youth named Barrett, who became known as Tony.
Okay.
And Tony now, we woke up a Mandeville Plaza one day, and I introduced to a youth named Little Bimbo.
Okay.
And them start asking me about Rastafari. And Garnet has a kind of had a Silk rebel himself, but more so Garnet. A certain fascination, intrigue, and inquisitiveness. And
Yes.
the Rupa said he's a youth who can reason and know about his majesty and these type of things. So
Yes.
they start interrogate me. And I was
What was the I status at that time? What was the I doing at that time, and what year are we talking about?
right. So this was very, very late 80s.
Okay.
So then by the time me I manifest my locks and me I do craft and I do the poetry money slow. So me I feel me do a skill step transfer and start create things, products, calabash bag, belts, handbag, attache case, and the whole works.
Okay.
So I took a record. At the time I think I was recording for Heineken Mose.
Okay.
No. So that was the beginning of a kind of brotherly friendship, which we later recognized ourselves as being a triplet.
Yes.
And so the relationship continued until one day, Silk came to visit me at Hanbury Road. That time he would sit down on the table and do some leather craft.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Yasus, why the woman pregnant again? Me I call name. The name was Lovey pregnant again.
Yes.
He said, that's a good man, congrats. That time at the first me see when he be a wash on a woman.
Okay.
Right. So he said, well, my brother, no food now at the house, and no money that was either. He said that is bad. So if you hear that, he said, Yasus, I love you go down beside the bed and we need and pray to God. And God answer with prayer. And send me to check the youth name Yasus Afari and I keep a link with him and everything we work out.
Hard.
So when him said that to me now, me put down my tool and me look him straight in the eye. He look like him knows me I scan him too. So him just hold this thing like when he did the immigration. And him hold the steer, I'm scanning, and when sufficiently empowered, I said, still in my youth, he's a man of joy, you know. So if just saying the eye is an honor, there is welcome. And remember, I said a woman named Berry who worked in the market. She lived in Balbina. I used to work in Manitoba. May I call name so that I can be fact checked?
Yes.
And so the first time he earned $100 paper bill was from her. And me take 3 $100 bill and give Garnet Silk.
Okay.
Give thanks. One day, me buck up him at 6 miles. Him and Sugar Black and Court the Coal. They were in the NCB parking lot and me come off a bus now to go Barbican. And them show up to me and me go over there. Them take Court the Coal and take out them bag out of the trunk. And he bunks his shoulder against me. I hold my hand and shuffle and I try to put something in my hand and I ease it off. When I look down, I say, money. So we had with that truck. I said, I had money. I said, no, man, I don't let you know. He said, no, man, but why if you take it, man? I said, no, man, I don't want it, man. Can I give it? He said, no, man, I know that, man. Why if you take it, man? And he somebody can be desperate, like he would have feel hurt if you never take it.
Yes.
I'm not going to hurt him feelings, so me take it.
Okay.
And I will be counted at $300. So, listen this now. In 1991, 92, thereabout, I think it was 91.
Yes.
I went to Dynamic Sounds and take a bus from 6 miles to Pembroke, go check the man.
Yes.
And then we also have one little hand telephone where they push through the window and have it at the seat on the outside, right at the back of the house at the car. I'm here in ball out. See him come through the gate too. And when we realize I caught the call, him said, "More if you come with a studio tomorrow, Garnet Silk." Said that was the 3rd of September, 1991.
Okay.
Me say, no man, tomorrow my birthday, man. Me now work on my birthday. I caught the call, say, then I will at the best day that work, which would be better for work. I say, true. So me say, all right, tomorrow. So I say, Silk, we are going to studio watch it tomorrow, you know. But I say, no, no clothes for wear. I say, so you naked then? He said, you mean say me naked? I say, you know, no clothes for wear, so you know, must naked? I must be a deal. I said, then, brother, you know, naked man, tap, say you're naked. Go home now, wash your clothes, put it behind the fridge, and make sure so when you come a man, you're ready.
Right.
And tomorrow, when we go for our training, we have the same suit of clothes, one navy blue, track bottom, but about the velvet looking one. We do a white stripe at each side. And in a one, the white sleeveless. Kind of, and a marina, you know, is more t-shirt, but in a sleeve. White.
Yeah.
And we charter a brethren from Ligani, whose father is a Nyabingi man. I think his father and mother Rasta people. And we treat money. This year my apartment. So when he see the man now come out in the same suit of clothes, him laugh and look for me. Got him pick up. It's like him a question. He said, must not that tell him. He say too fast, man, but yes. And we wait to authorize now. Silk said to me, say, Isos, you are the right guy. Beside a vision with His Majesty. Like him a pass on that give up to everyone. That's like how you are the writer. Write it, no man. And the write it at the back of a promotional material via song that I had at the time in previous song. And I think I write about a verse and a half, 2 verses. Maybe a verse and a half. And one time he was like, wow, you don't have it still? I say, yeah, man. And me give him and I think I remember for him and Anthony Rochester him alone finish writing. But we never really get no credit. After him dreaming, I tell me and me put it in a poetic form.
Yeah.
So I think that's the entitled to any credit. I mean, we know intellectual property rights, no one know that would have been the case. I even think about that at the time, but we still live not think about that. So what happened is that turned out to be I saw in a vision. So
Oh,
When we
wow.
went to this,
Big song.
when we went, sorry?
No, that's a big song. That's not a casual song. That's one of my favorite Garnet Silk song. That.
So may I tell you the history, and you can fact
Yes,
check me too, as you say.
yes.
So what he said, when we were in the studio now, Garnet Silk, Yasus, you can't left the studio today. I mean, do a song together. You know how long we want me in the studio together. Look here, we have to do a song together. But me are still greatest supporter. Silk one of my greatest supporter. So if Silk want a combination, it's a no-brainer. So I say, let me hear what you have there. And him do the Johnny Nash cover. But I say, hold on. Because I want to listen good way, I say. So I say, hold on there. Barry, when you pull up the song and start playing it again. And then him say, "Hi, sauce." And me say, "Wash your trouble. So wash them all away. Come back to work. We find a new way." And the studio mash up. Jixie King, Tony Curtis, Professor Frisky, President Brown, Brushy One String, Nicky Simpson. Me remember why you name to get him name, but it is a special youth today. Anyway, so them said, go on round before you forget it. And me go around, and I think it was almost a one thing. I was the same day, he did nothing can divide us, and I had to take me teaching. And so I took a bus from Papi to Spanish Town. I went from Spanish Town to Mandeville. So when I reached in Mandeville Park in front of the market, I remember who said to me, "Boy, I'm here and a white girl do a song, it wicked." I said, "But you know, I'm mixing up with motor, man. And a white girl that does a song." And go on the taxi stand, somebody said to me, "Boy, yeah, somebody do a song, they were so good, man." I said, "No, sir. I'm not me, I don't know song." When me buck up a youth, there's Stuart there who play drums. He said, "Why? Me with a combination, the man is so good." I said, "No, sir." When we go home now, my youth mother said to me, "While the song with you, I said, stop playing on the radio, and it's so good." Me say, "You keep up the same thing too." Me say, "Do a song a while ago," and me come straight home. So, me don't know where. But he said, "Well, I hit." Me said, "No, wait there." He said, "I can see clearly." Me say, "I lie." And me take up the phone, and me call Kobe. And by the time me call him, I peel off in him and Silk in the background. Me say, "Virgin, wow, come here, here, say me have a song with white woman, with girl, with Garnet Silk." And it mash up the place that they might laugh and say, "Yo, brother, this song is a hit. From your left, we leave the studio, go down have a dub studio, cut the dub, carry back on it, you moja ben naya." And the man never take it, run relay. Every this jacket come, he put it up at 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Okay.
And so before me reach Mandeville, the song was a hit.
Hit song. What a history.
No disrespect to Silk, but I will give you all the detail. I just give you a little to show you the profundity.
Yes.
So Silk said, "I saw, so we did that the something way, maybe we should do that." If I say it's hard. And you see from the word come out of your mouth, so wash your troubles. The feel a burden lift up off of me. And you are the baptism. And you are John the Baptist. Why I find that interesting? Because my mother named me John.
Yes.
But when I grow up, people used to call me, I don't know if that's still, but people used to call me John the Baptist in the community. They never know what that's something we talk about. And so he comes say that. We find it interesting. And the fact say it's water, and we say, wash your troubles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that kind of cemented the love and the relationship between Silk and myself, and which led to the formation of the Christian Soldiers, Garnet Silk birthday, which I produced and promoted, Rebel Salute, which I, Yasus Afari, conceptualized, produced, and promoted for at least the first 3 years.
Okay. History. There was the term reggae revival kind of have it kind of controversial, but what I argue is that Jamaica goes through cycles. You have the wave of time when Bob Marley, Jacob Miller, Dennis Brown, you had a plethora of Rastafari artists, and then now you had a time when it was the Tony Rebel, Garnet Silk, which led into the Sizzler, the Luciano, that whole explosion, the Anthony B, the Jam Mason. Do the I them, or does the I, because we can't talk to everyone, but does the I look at that trinity, that coming together of the I, Tony Rebel and Garnet as the beginning of a wave of Rastafari consciousness within music? Or did that wave precede the I them, or was it after? How do I look at the I them role in sparking, what became a time when Rastafari kind of went mainstream in Jamaica society then, in terms of musically?
Well, good analysis, but you can't leave out Everton Blender.
Yes, how can I do that?
No, just a moment. Everton Blender, Youth and Green,
yes,
Culture Knox,
yes,
Sugar, even Greece,
yes,
and then by the extension, some of the names you alluded to,
yes,
Luciano, Mikey General,
yes,
Luke, Sizzler, Capleton,
yes,
even Estra, to a certain extent, Charlie Chaplin, and a few others. We don't intend to even bad name, we can't call it one name, but they were the major players in terms of the memory. So what happened is that we challenge what was happening. We would have go of Exodus, so we can't call names.
Yeah, man,
Angie Angel, Sister Charmaine,
yes,
Little Star, Nado Ranks, Little Lenny. That time Little Lenny had gone in a baggy.
Yeah, I remember that song there, and he get kicked out of George's.
No, we start challenging you, and reason with them. So much so that recently, we woke up Little Lenny in a Mega Man. I mean, I hear him, God, I said, John Lenny, they remember me. I remember we had that relationship. The man said, Yasus, why you ask me so you don't hear me? Me, I said, Bridget, you must say, we don't do that to me, man. Me remember everything from I was there, brother. Anyway, I'm a teacher, man. We are do, man. You know, do that, man. I'm saying, my apologies, brother, man. Give thanks, man. I don't forget either. I don't even say you have to break. I go school. I say, we are do, man. And you see, brother, you see the PR. Let me show you another example. They are called names so people can fact check.
Yes, yes.
I was in the studio when ladies are do some special for Abyss.
Yes.
And lady, they want me remember which one of the song where they did one.
And let me big up King Addy's family, Father Ethan, and the whole King Addy's family. Come and work with them as an attorney as well. So big up the King Addy's family every time. Go forward.
Yeah, sorry, they want the explicit song from ladies. I mean, never forget this. Quite a few things we don't forget. Why me love the youth them so no matter where they go, and me always I try my best to try to inspire them and share with them. Cause we see so much goodness in them in spite of the irresponsibility at times. So what happened is that ladies said to Addis, say, me nah do that special day with the assassin at the studio. Deal with me outside of the studio. What the difference? You can't deal. He said no, nah, and it was a steel meal. So I just said, yeah, so she looked like she nah, but we we call it when she finish, man, and you come. So we leave, and after a while they come for the car. I remember going there with them, say, boy, you see, after you leave the studio, she nah do it,
Hard.
So the point I make to you is that
energy.
All right, put it that way. You don't have to go further than that energy. So what happened is that we have those experiences across the board. Listen, one at a time, Bujo Bantan, just that time Bujo was shaved around the romantic. Yes. So Bujo just and in called me one day and said, then give him my number.
Yes.
And he must, we can come check you. So check Rebel and Silk them, man. He must say, them tell me if you come check you. So me say, I don't want to deny him, but me say you not too, kind of one away, so I'm not too interested. Yeah. But me still not want to deny the boat still. So he must say, we can come check you. Say, yeah, man, you can come check me, man. He say, what you there? Me say 27 A Barbican Road. He say, me soon come. crossroads me them soon come. And the man driving in the parking lot and me bring him in and him come in and him start reason with I and I. And me give him a book, Speeches of His Imperial Majesty. And me give him a draft. And the man get up and look towards Jackson and say, Jano, for me born, no one never reasoned with them way. And that was a turning point for Bujuman.
Till Shiloh is a classic.
Yeah, and the similar thing run across the way with reasoning with everyone. So come to Garnet Silk, I share something which we really talk about.
Okay, exclusive family, exclusive. Continue.
Yeah. After Garnet Silk birthday bash, cause me did do a dance with Garnet Silk's sister named Marcia Hot.
Okay.
And as an entrepreneur, me say, all right, so when you do my return, me will tell him, when we're defeat, me will tell him, say, yeah, man. So one time he ready for it now, and me say, yo, I'm ready for it today, but me not know if I keep a dance. We're going to keep a stage show. And him called Bridget and the slim den manager. And I said, tell her it's just the day that we available now. And she named out the day. And me say, you know, say me like the 2nd of April. Which day that? Him say Friday. And me say, at that day, me go keep it pan and do. Me say, but I Garnet Silk birthday. Me say, well, it ain't Garnet Silk birthday bash.
Okay.
So that was April.
Auntie Bridget, because, you know, anytime we do an event at Jamaica, she decorate the place. Big up yourself, Auntie Bridget. You can.
Decorated Jamaica Poetry Festival.
All right.
So when we settled on that date,
yes,
on the 2nd of April 1993, as Garnet Silk birthday. The following year, Garnet Silk did it with Carrion in Ocherios. And they never tell me about it out of the public hear about it. And I was offended.
Okay.
So me I say, brother, you know, so they don't love me like coming up there. Because my mother picked them couldn't come between me and the
Yes.
So even if me not depend the show, you know, you are the management team producing, they just tell me that, man. I make me have to hear it a road, brother.
Yeah.
So you are culture knocks, see that was sang the elbow room. We say, me go pull off a culture knocks pound, you know. Me go give you some elbow room and more and give you some elbow room.
Okay.
And one time though, so we can't give everything, you know, because some of them bad and the surreal, you know. So anyhow, so one day, me drop off Paul, they call names so people can patch me, who is Garnet Silk, known as Little Black. So him come check me, and no, when he goes at my apartment, and me have a female visitor, so you know the order.
Yes.
So when they're ready for run me up the hill, you know, and him and the daughter run up the hill, and we stop at the gate, and Silk up in the window and say, Yasus, don't let me gate and don't come check me, you know. Say everything good, man. The man move. He say, Yasus, when I deal with the right, you know, but my father come check. Say everything good, man. Make me the move. Him say, Yasus, enough time I pass your apartment and check you, I'm gonna stop and check you, but the father come check. He say everything good, man. They're gonna make a move now. One at a time, man. Him say, Yasus, enough time if you take up the phone and call you, sometimes I have to take up the phone and put it back down and call you, know. But don't follow me. Don't let me get and don't come check me.
Okay.
There was something in his tone and texture and passion and sincerity.
Yes.
When we never want to hurt him vibration.
Yes.
So I said, this won't come.
Yes.
I'm turning the engine. And by the time he get through the gate, the man run out of the gate and give me a half this. I say, him coming along, me see me. And we go in at the house. And I call names again so people can fact check.
Yes.
Richard Parchment, who at the time operated Super Saint when Pablo was in prison.
Okay.
Jesus of Stone Love.
Okay.
Dawe Congo.
Okay.
Jamaica, who's now known as Dawad amongst Sizzler Judgment Yard.
Yes.
Michael, Keris, David, Omar, Leach, and a few others. I remember everybody name.
Yes.
And Garnet Silk said to me, Yasus, how you check that? Suppose someone come and kill me right now. What do you think would happen to me? And by the time if you answer him say, shh, me soon come. And he run upstairs and come back with a video camera. And he put the video camera and say, answer me now, ISIS. Mr. Garnet Silk, me not check that, you know, and me can't dead. And Garnet Silk, if a man come and burn it to ashes right now and blow the ashes to the four corners of the earth, don't surrender to it. You never do an examine when the invigilator says pencil. And then the invigilator says pencil. Only thing in this examination of life, you cannot be dishonest. Where people call death is summer holiday when your exam paper come back. September, you know which class you're going. Some man get repeat, some man skip class, some progress to the next class, some get kicked out of school. But you, any stage and phase you put you to, don't you ever surrender to them. 10 days time, Garnet Silk chat out, you know.
Heart. And live on
So
eternal. Yes, and still live on eternal through the sound and the frequency.
When me ask myself the question, there's a lot more to it, you know. It's surface we are touching.
No. That is a serious revelation. And we take it serious because the Brethren works touch so many ones globally.
No, that's why more I said this way I said to you know. So what true the island? They are them for listen to song when we have name Sacrifice.
Haile.
Where on the pyramid label that Sly Arab will produce. That they are them for listen to that. But anyway, so
everyone to that song. After you watch this reasoning, go listen to that song. Or pause and listen to the song and come forward.
Right. So what happened is that when we go in on myself now, because the man asked me how we check date less than 2 weeks before he tried out the inflation. And me don't know why me give him such an answer. I even say if a man burn it to ashes right now and spread the ashes to the four corners of the earth and spread rumor and you say you're dead, don't surrender to that.
Heart.
So hear this now. You know, so me get answers and the inspiration show me say, I come to me for visa and me issuing visa games. So me not have it set that you they live because Garnet Silk is the human silkworm who is tasked with the responsibility of clothing the people in a vocal garment of righteousness.
Haile.
And so even at IRFM, one program director was nearly fired at IRFM because they refused to say Garnet Silk dead. They say Garnet Silk jump out of flesh. And Mr. Young said, won't they on the radio with the foolish about Garnet Silk jump out of flesh or whatever. Say the man dead and they wouldn't see so. And he threatened to fire them. You understand what I say? Because these people are people who witness the mystics and the whole energy and the thing around the thing. I'm going to give you a last bit before we move on.
Yes.
When you jump out of flesh, I go at a place, a Greenville. The virgin named Too Honorable said to me, Yasus, I had the Baptist, you know, I had the vision, you know. Tell me how you check what happened. He said, well, Louis Culture was there, Basil Walters, Mikey General, Louis Culture, Youth and Green, Culture Knox, and some others.
Yes.
Rebel himself walks the question was there. I said, see everything there in the tree. You know, see the PAIR and the PEAR, and you know, see the THREE and the TRE. Them say, we are talking about, explain, man. I said, well, Paul, Omar, and Moses in the burning bush. Look on the pear tree. It's a PEAR, TREE. But then Silk and the mother is a PAIR. Who were sacrificed, just like some of the PEAR, which were also sacrificed. But there were some of the PEAR which were not sacrificed, many, Just like Paul, Omar, and Moses in the burning bush that get burnt and received spear, just like the TREE and just like some of the PEAR and the pear tree.
Mm-hmm.
So tell you some more, man. They say, look, I mean, I go say some things that we maybe never talk publicly yet, without controversy. It's just in the interest of telling
Yes.
the narrative and celebrating the brethren and the mystics that surround
The
him,
lion, the
still
lion
surround him,
story.
and the mystics of Rastafari as an experiential liberty of
Yes.
spirituality, of which I
Highly.
and I are custodians and testimonials and things. So what happened is that we say, Portia Simpson's niece, who is currently pregnant for him, will have a daughter. And Lovey, who is pregnant, will have a son.
Mm.
And the son will be Garnet Silk, and Portia Simpson's niece will be Garnet mother.
Mm.
The following year, on the 3rd of April, Lovey gave birth to Garnet Silk Jr.
Mm.
I remember the exact date. Portia Simpson's niece gave birth to Garnet Silk's daughter,
Right.
which itself were a PAIR consistent to the PEAR.
Right. Mystical.
So I recorded that song now. The man and lamb, the man a sacrifice, slain in the liberation. The man and lamb, the man a sacrifice, slain for the salvation. It's like a Moses in the burning bush in the ancient land of Kush. It's like Elijah going up in fire. Ooh, you have to get in heart desire missing. The man and lamb, the man a sacrifice. Yeah.
Hmm. Serious thing. What a story. This is why Rastafari independent non-aligned media is so important, family, because we are hearing the lion tell his own story from his own perspective, the mystics, the history, name a call, all of these things, so that we can visualize and we can transport in the ancient African griot tradition. Um, Boy, this is a part one. We're gonna have to go deeper, because there's so much, we haven't scratched the surface. But let's talk about, your first. You talk about the hit song. Tell us about some of the big, poetry moments, and then lead us into the festival, because we have a tight time schedule. But I want to make sure that we really let the people know there's a big festival coming up. We want all the ones them to spread the word and to attend and to go and spend money, circulate the Rastafari Pan-African dollar, and support the brethren great works as a legend in this, tradition, both the Caribbean, African diaspora, but in particular island of Jamaica. So tell us about the poetry, some of the major, catalog for ones who are not familiar with the iWorks, the songs they need to search, and then tell us about how this festival that the I has curated, came to be, and how the people them can tap in, from the international family and also those in Jamaica.
Yeah, bless. My first recording was Feel Like Crying. And my first release was Anti-Little Law on the GG Records label. And then some songs which came about and created some impact are Teachings of Marcus,
Okay.
Theory Song, Work, Honor, and Patwa Parking, and People Dancing, which went on the top 10 in Japan, myself and Garnet Silk. And then I Pen, myself and Garnet Silk. Kind of people don't really know that, but that's another classic.
Okay.
And then my first album was called Dancehall Baptism, which was recorded for, which was my company produced, but was distributed by Ras Records. And then Black Uhuru invited me to do some recordings with them and to do some tours with them. And in that same time, just before we go on the tour, we were, Muta and myself were both nominated for the Jammy Awards. live on TV at the Pegasus Hotel. Muta got the award, but called me up on stage and gave it to me, say I was more deserving.
Wow.
So that put
And I
us
was
up.
going to ask there about their relationship with Muta and whether he was an inspiration. We've had him on this platform, but I didn't. But you can work in that since you mentioned his name when you're ready.
Well, to be very honest, and me never talk this publicly yet, but me talk about it for the first, and it's not a lie.
Yes.
Some people from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church in London had given me a letter to give Muta Baruka.
Yes.
Me never go check Muta with no letter about that, about the race, or but me well want make the church still that he did before. So me carry the letter go give him reluctant.
Mm-hmm.
That time Muta was on Harbour Road, just across from York Pharmacy with a health food store upstairs.
Yes.
So me give him the letter still. And Muta him still.
Yeah.
Racha ready. Muta said, but Aya, if you help anyone to go to England, how would you? What would have my daughter? You know, first. No, because a man when he has a sentence about rankers, where them say, you done means me the Kakati king. Why me want to they swallow me up and hide me, me feel embarrassed. And how me chastise myself, so me shouldn't do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But me humble myself about this, take me letter and try.
Yes.
Now, when this event now came around on the 23rd of February 1993, Muta did a compensate the thing as part of the reason. Yes, there was a journeying thing, but him glad for a moment to redeem himself in I books. Because him not no fool. Muta is an intellect, Muta is a philosopher, Muta
Yes.
is so I know what happened, you know me countenance, you know me energy. So
Yes.
if he and him sister me go work like me like me pen pan it, I mean I watch no face, I mean I big no help, I mean I big no partner. And that
Yes.
was what. So I was booked for the solid agency, and Jerome
Yes.
Hamilton for that festival.
Okay.
After
Big up.
that,
Big
award
up.
ceremony, I performed. After that, I
Yeah.
was nominated. I remember I was doing an interview. I think me and Rebel do an interview with Anthony Miller Entertainment Report, and Peter said, "Muta why you pass it? Muta why you pass it?" I said, "Me not pass it. Muta not get the award, man. So if I do it, me pass it." But Sharon Burton now come for me and say, "Yes, so you need to go and say." But trust me, book the show and we have built up a vibe. He said, come on, come on. I mean, you want Muta feel no way, so I go up there. And Muta said, are you forget this? Like, him, I say, you more deserving of this than me. And he might give me the award now, but me no feel to take it.
Yes.
So Muta was desperate almost, Muta actually tried me hard to forgive me, No, it is on video, so something we can be checked, bro.
Yes. 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 No, I love it.
And me a tight, me fist, and me not take it.
Yes.
And when me glance in a Muta face, me see say Muta never calculate for that possibility.
Yes.
I me never want to put him on the spot. Although me don't want to sacrifice my own principle, me still
Yeah.
don't want make the elder female go away, because we all inspired by Muta and adore Muta, love him poetry
Of
and
course.
and,
Of
and,
course.
and things. So we don't want to embarrass him, but we still don't want to embarrass ourselves either. So
Yes.
like the Almighty, the Almighty coming at me, I mean, they say a silent prayer.
Yes.
Between I will share something with them. Say a silent prayer. And when we say the prayer, an instant answer. And the answer was the voice of the people is the voice of God. Ask the people, put it to the people. And we say, people, we're in a democratic country, we're seeking a consensus. What should I do? And me remember Oliver Samuels was in the front row, him lead the choir. And the people them said, take it and stand up and give me a standing ovation.
Right.
And us, not me, give us a standing ovation. And I
Yes.
say, the people, the voice of the people is the voice of God. And I say, give thanks and I take it. Now,
Right.
move and chastise me backstage. And I say, yeah, what kind of thing that? Me I get the idea one and there, I take it and there. I sit. Then move. And then you give yourself the award. And I told him about the award. And he'll be another time, I'm going with the award with you name on it. So him said, So now you did the song name Honor the New Order. Me say, yeah. Him say, then that me I do. I say, well, okay. If I saw it, give thanks. Me happy say me take it.
Haile.
So one of his daughter was here, the younger one. So me I give you names, not because I want to call one's name, because they are
Yes,
not.
of course.
But if I want, may I do it out of love and the best integrity and memory and intention. You know what I mean? I say family?
Yeah, man.
And yeah, and that was what. But the virgin name Tony Rebel. Remember, I
Yes.
said, yes, Tony Rebel, my brother. You know. We don't have the
Yes.
most robust relationship as a member of a triplet.
Yes.
So, but no offense, it's our love. And
Yes.
Rebel called me one day and said, so I said, tell me what go through your mind when you smile and go to the mic and ask the people them that. Me say, you see you? That's what we know. Say, I really my brother for you. Because no one else don't ask me that. I mean, I think another one pre that. But so me I
Yes.
go tell you, is a prayer. Is a prayer. Me out time and just answer me instantly and tell me what to do and what to say. And him say, oh, that makes sense. It must make sense. Because me see say, you go in and you say, and then me see you smile and step to the mic and say that. You understand the message? So me I call the virgin name. Not because I'm
Yes.
well want to call the name, you know.
Yes.
Just that, as them say, you could have fact checked the thing.
Yeah,
We
man.
are right
And
as of
and
now.
and it's something in iration because I just finished reasoning with Rebel. I haven't put up at the time that we're recording this. I haven't put up his reasoning yet. Um, but it did call the I name too. So it's just a history because what we're doing here, families, we're documenting the history that a little girl in Namibia can turn on YouTube and sit with an elder like Yasus Afari and get this story. You know what I mean? She don't have to be a culture yard in Jamaica with a challenge that may not be happening again. But we are able to really share this history and it is very mighty. Give us the history now of how they are created, the poetry festival, and what ones can expect in this latest staging.
Okay, so just quickly before that, so we did
Yes.
the Dance Active album, the Mental
Yes.
Assassin album,
Yes.
Anacro album,
Yes.
Yasus Afari and Friends, Gift of Vision, Yasus Afari and Friends. Then we
Yes.
did Spinek, then we did Revolution Chapter 1, then
Okay.
we did Asian Future, then Public Secret, then Golden Spoon Maroon.
Wow.
We did an anthology, I Pen, and then we did Overstanding Rastafari, Jamaica's Gift to the World, which is now being used by the University of the West Indies, Victoria University, Oxford University, Sacre in England, the penal justice system. It set a case precedent in Melbourne, Australia,
Okay.
and so on and so forth. No, no, based on what transpired after Garnet Silk birthday bash and Rebel Salute, me decided to always give some more strength to poetry, my own art form itself. And
Yes.
so we started Poetry in Motion 8 years after returning from Ethiopia in 1996. And so
Okay.
that was 2004, was a leap day. And the day of Johannes, in the year of Johannes,
Okay.
started, that was the day we arrived in Ethiopia. And
Okay.
years after that, we started Poetry in Motion, now going 23 years.
Wow.
And so we wanted to tour Poetry in Motion, but the people in Mandeville said them now we happen to Rebel Salute, where we take it from Mandeville, happen to Poetry in Motion, so we don't carry on nowhere else. And we listen to the people. So we developed Jamaica Poetry Festival in 2011. So on the 10th of August, on the 10th of August, at the University of Technology, we'll be doing the 15th anniversary of Jamaica Poetry Festival featuring Mutawaru, Professor Mervyn Morris, my daughter, me, myself, Tony Gregory,
Okay.
Colleen Douglas, Akin Sanya, Hugo Barrington,
Okay.
uh, Colleen Douglas,
Colleen
Albert,
get called twice. My sister Colleen get called twice.
good because we can't afford to leave her out. And so, Calvin, Thomas, Calvin Mitchell, Al Salva, and Dennis M. Williams. And we
Okay.
have created a workshop free to the public from 10 until 2.
Nice.
In the workshop, and then from wrap up. Visions of Hope charity dinner from 4 until 6, of which all the proceeds will go towards 2 students who are financially challenged, academically inclined, and disciplined. And at 7 p.m., we have the showcase featuring, as we say, Munta Baruka, Professor Mervyn Morris, Tony Gregory, myself, my daughter Mick, Hugo Barrington, Aline, the All-Star drummers, Calvin Mitchell, among others.
Yes.
So that's on the 10th, it's the 15th anniversary. We just did the Bank of Jamaica launch our concert Friday gone, and we are now going to Japan this Friday to represent Jamaica at the World Expo 2025 in Osaka. That attract by the Japanese government's estimation 28.2 million people from 160 different countries.
Wow.
So we do the Visions of Hope charity dinner.
Yes.
I thought the first to doing it, we supported the deaf, we supported the blind, we supported the mentally challenged. So this year we are supporting students who are disciplined, financially challenged, and academically inclined. All proceeds of the Visions of Hope charity dinner from 4 till 6 p.m. at the UTEC Hotel. And then 7 p.m. is the showcase.
Give thanks, mighty. So give us your final word sound to the global family, and this is part 1. I want the family know that this is just part 1. I and the brethren have been reasoning offline and whole it a thing, so this is part 1, and met the brethren long time, 2001. I don't know if you remember, I up on Gabriel Selassie with my brethren Stephen Nolan, big up Stephen Lightning, and now it come full circle, more than 20 years later, where I get to have this reasoning. I don't have a Bugatti and I don't have a Ferrari, but I have been blessed by the Most High to be able to have these reasonings with legendary people from I tradition. So me give the Almighty thanks. So please, King, give us your final sound to the global family.
Well, the honor is mutual, and we give thanks. We are in an important moment at the crossroads of time, the intersectionality, the alignment, divine ordinance. We have to make wise and sound choices to ensure and preserve the ancient immortal future. Because we are people of the ancient future. We are journeying into kinetic inertia. So we have to choose carefully, assert our sovereignty individually and collectively, and restore Mama Africa to our throne of honor and glory. So in that saying, let us keep focus and make the food them cost. And let us work on our purpose with passion and fixity of purpose, being eternally confident in the victory of good over evil. And in so doing, and in that direction, Rastafari bless it and set it continually. Give thanks.
Here you have it, family. Great poet, entrepreneur, visionary, prophet, trailblazer, Yasus Afari. What an honor. I am full. And again, this is part 1. We're not going to stop. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the lion's voice. Rastafari.
Lion voice. Them could never conquer the mountains. Thousands of years and counting. Ethiopia rise again unto the world. now we are announcing. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Well, solar energy that them a see. The whole city powered by the sun's energy. The road them make out of hemp and concrete. Neighborhoods full of fruit trees that taste sweet. The youths put down them guns, them harvest and a reap. The beautiful gardens will line every street. Tired of the bloodshed, them done with the beef. Not even animals for that, them burn out the meat. Where people say Haile Selassie, I see Nile. When they see say him a treat the dirt like a child. Peace on earth from the banks of the Nile. That's why we giving thanks in style. See say Babylon a weapon, them a stockpile. Babylon a wicked, kill them brother and smile. Lion, Babylon a reptile. Them a plant fish, shed blood, we got plans for the soil. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. No more gullies, proper sanitation. Proper toilets with proper filtration. Clean water for the youths them fi use. Our sons and daughters safe, no more child abuse. Africa arise, read it in the news. On the day when Rastafari ready, wicked have fi move. 3D printing alongside hem shoes. Herb get legalized, hard drugs them get refused. Well, people used to say they bring him man senile. True himself he tried it with man, woman and child. Himself peace on earth from the banks of the Nile. That's why we giving thanks in style. She say Babylon a weapon, them a stockpile. Babylon a wicked, kill them brother and smile. Lion, Babylon a reptile. Them a plans for shed blood, we have plans for the soil. Them a plan